Okay, let's look at this barrel. What you're looking at right now is a real Civil War musket marked 1862, Springfield. I'm going to put some more light down here. Let's see, if I roll it around a bit. Gosh, I cannot really. I don't see any good well, yeah, there's some riflings in there. We'll go a little further down the barrel. This is a cap and ball gun. But after looking at those old other flintlocks and the like, I just figured, why not look at this? And it looks like a 1865, 1965, 65, 85, 95, 2005, 2015. So a 160-year-old bore is what you're looking at right now. And this is not in the greatest of shape by the looks of things. And, oh boy, this thing keeps trying to roll on me while I'm doing this. And hard to hold it still. Come on, hold still. Boy, that's a long barrel. That inside, it's even longer than it is outside, it seems. Okay, there's the end of it. Let's look around here. I don't know. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there you go. Well, that is not a ball on the end. That's the breech block. And it just looks like it's been used and abused for 160 years. So anyway, that's the look inside an 1862 Springfield musket. Howdy. Well, what you're looking at here is a way long, and I'm not gonna run it around like that because, boy, that would just knock this tripod down. You were looking at an 1862. Let me do this. Springfield rifle musket from the Civil War. I bought this a few months ago at a gun auction. I bought this and lost out on a Harper's Ferry and an original 1860 Colt. And it wouldn't be so bad except that the guy who bought those two, turned to me because he knew I knew something about it and said, "Oh, what kind of powder should I use in this 1860? Oh, he didn't know anything about it. He just decided he wanted something. And he had a fistful of money in his pocket. Well, I didn't have that much money, but I was willing to spend several hundred more for either one of those two, or both. But I got this, and this is a beauty. By the way, I paid $600 for this, which I thought was a pretty darn good deal. And it has, wait a minute, what is this here? I just noticed something. What are you? Come here, light. Come here, light. What are you? What is this? VP and a stylized eagle is what it says on it. So whoever VP is, that must be the inspector mark. If you looked, I just did a look at the bore, which is not in the greatest of shape, but 160 years old. This is one of the oldest rifles I've got at the moment, and I really love it. I mean, it's just the heritage. I mean, this granted, this was from the North, and I'm sorry to say my sympathies are a little more towards Robert E. Lee, but I like it. I think this is just a wonderful old gun, and I'm sure that it had a few incidents. I don't know if it went through Appomattox or Harper's Ferry or what, but I'm sure it did something, and it's been around the block a few times. I've also got several trapdoors, but I don't have the one thing. I was just watching Cap and Ball. He has a video out right now on the officer's model trapdoor from 1884. Beautiful, beautiful thing. He has a sporterized one, checkered, beautiful rear sight. It's just gorgeous. But I think Garrett from 11 Bang Bang also has one, though his is a later clone, I think. I had a H&R Custer carbine trapdoor that had been worked on by a genius gunsmith from the Pacific, or from the desert Southwest in Albuquerque named Dempsey Milton. And he had put a single set trigger on it. It was like this, only the way it worked is you push the trigger forward, and that set it, and then you'd have the light trigger. Beautiful. It was just, that trigger was just so beautiful. And I sold it. I bought it from my father-in-law. I paid him a lot of money for it because he sold it to me as a deal. But for me, at the time, it cost me a lot of money. And then when I sold it, well, I wish I would kick myself. If I could buy that back, I would buy it back in a heartbeat. To heck with my car payments for the next month. I would buy it. But I love that gun. Well, I've got 2 more trapdoors up there, and I got a barrel to make a 3rd one if I can ever get the stock and the trigger set up and all that. And some barrel bands. I need some barrel bands. And I got one that's a 1860s vintage. It's an actual alum conversion, but it's been chopped off. I think it was going to be one of those carbines that Bannerman was trying to put together, but I guess they called, the whistle blew out on a Friday. They threw this in the corner and they never finished it. Well, I ended up with it, and I don't know what the heck to do with it because it's awful ugly looking. But, it could, if I just put another stock on it, it could work, I think. Well, anyway, this is my 1862 Springfield musket, and it's even got a fairly decent nipple on it. So, or cone, they called them back then. It has a cone. One would not use the expression nipple around women. Well, around dairy farms you would, and that's the utter truth. Anyway, happy trails.